strengthen y'all. And I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You know I got my help and strength, y'all, and I'm glad. I'm glad about it. You know that to be. You know that. You know that. I'm so glad. Are you glad to be among the living? Are you glad? I'm so glad to be.
All right. Shabbat Shalom to all that are present, to all our viewers that view us by the way of technology. The Most High has blessed us to see another Shabbat. And as the late, great Sean Pace says, I'm glad about it. I'm glad about it. We're going to get ready to jump back into our series, Living Out of the Nature of Yah, the Most High. And we're going to move from there. So, Father Yah, we just come before you, giving our hearts, our mind to you, oh Father, that you can pour into those that are really seeking you and really looking to hear from you, that, Father, your word can do, Father, what it needs to do on the inside of us. Have mercy and forgiveness, Father, on us for any way that we transgress against you. And, Father, we just thank you in knowing this. If we do all that is written in this book, we know that all shall be well with us. All shall be well with us. All righty, good people. Let's go on a little journey. Let's go on a little journey. All right. Okay. All right. I want to open up with this statement. On my notes is this. As we've been talking about our mind, right? Everything works from our mindset. So our thoughts. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back to this one that we did, and I'm going to continue to do it. The thoughts that we are thinking and the things that we meditate on at this very present time, individually, do those thoughts make you free, or do those thoughts have you in a bondage? And as I said before, when we talk about free, we're talking about the freeness and the freedom that the Most High said, whom the Son, which is the word, sets free, is what? Free indeed. Indeed means in every aspect of his or her life, the Most High is Elohim, and he guides and rules in all aspects of life. And so the thoughts that we think, do they make you free, or do they have you in bondage? And remember, the thoughts that we think, who's in control of those thoughts? We are. Remember, there's nothing, what's happening on the outside of us doesn't matter. It's what's happening on the inside of us. Again, many times we like to have, at times past, we've liked to point to outside things, the reason why we act or do certain things a certain way. No, those things are based, everything that we do is based on inward activity. So nothing outside of us has effect on us, but everything that has effect on us, it starts inwardly in our thoughts, our meditation. Okay? All right. Another one is this. Our thoughts. Define what they are. Our thoughts are our nonverbal agreement that we have come into agreement with, which tells what Lord we are serving. Our thoughts are our nonverbal agreement that we have come into agreement with, which tells which Lord that we serve. See, everything that's going on in your mind, it tells you who you're serving. And so we went to Elder, give me Exodus. Exodus 20 verse 3. I'm going to use a couple landmarks, and then we go travel. Because this is the thing that, like I say, when the Most High, the way the Most High is dealing with us, it tells me that we're late in the day. We're late. And many times, most people don't know how late it is because they're very distracted now with outside things. Most people don't do anything by what did the Most High, what did He tell you to do? They just do. I don't feel like I ain't go. It's I that's in full. It's I that's in full work. No longer the Most High. And you say, well, how does it get like that? When life gets sweet, people kind of get in a little sweet place. They forget about being a servant and realizing we're here on assignment for the Most High, no matter how He blesses us or whatever. You see, the blessing is just for a testimony to the other people, you know. All right, so we got to deal with this because, like I say, most people don't even, they'll look at this and just bypass it and have all kind of junk going on in their mind when the whole Bible to our people and to the Gentiles that will serve the Most High is about getting your mind lined up with the mind of Yah. Anything outside of that is not accepted. All right, go ahead.
Exodus 20, chapter 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Now think about that scripture in the past. You would read that and just kind of just go on because you be like, I ain't praying to no wood. I ain't praying to no Buddha. I ain't playing, I ain't got no plants. Some people make trees. I ain't got no golden calf. But you say now, when you see those things, like they're physical things that they make, right? Before they made those things, where do you think they got the image from first? How to make it? In their mind. So the God started in their mind, and what there was in their mind, they brought out into their actions, right? So there's a group of people that will form a God, right, with their actions, and then there's a group of people, watch, I might not form a hard copy of a God or carve an image, but my actions will show you. My actions is carving out a God, you see? The way I live, my behavior, my conduct is carving out a God that, watch, is not like the Most High of the scriptures. That ain't Him. I know you're reading and I know you're studying, I know you're but that ain't Him. That's not Him. And so He says, have not no other gods before me. You see? Have not no other gods before me. Okay. Give me Philippians 4 and 8. Just, like I say, using a couple landmarks before we take off. Philippians 4 and verse 8. And the key word in Exodus 23, verse 20, Exodus chapter 20, verse 3, he said, don't have no other gods where? Before Now watch this, I'm finna help you out. What's before him? So everything we do should start with him, right? It should not start with what I want. What does the Most High want? What does he say? See, you can be an idol. I don't want to go. What did the Most High say? I don't want to do that. What did the Most High say? I don't like that. Don't put no other gods before me. Because remember, your thoughts, which is your beliefs, equals your what? Your God. You see? Before me. So watch. Many times watch. Are we before him? What did the Most High say? I don't know, but I don't want to do that. Don't put no other gods before me. My sheep, because remember he said it's my sheep. This is a shepherd. He used an analogy of a shepherd. My sheep know my voice, right? So there's a shepherd, and shepherd do what? Sheep do what? They follow their what? Their shepherd. And so you'll know when you serve another God because what? You ain't, what does the Most High say? I don't know, but that's what he's talking about. See, it's easy to get so one-dimensional, and like I say, most people look at, I stopped eating Japanese and Chinese because that big old, they bold with it. They're more bolder than most people with the word, They're not ashamed of it. But that image came from, the image on how to make that came from their what? Thoughts. Right? Okay, go ahead.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things.
Paul just described to the Israelites that's in Philippi, a sector of Rome, province of Rome, living like Philippians. He just basically described the nature of Yah. You heard that? His thoughts. And look what he's doing. He's trying to get to their mindset, right? Because again, like I said last week, it is their mindset that caused them to what? Leave him. That's how we got Christianity. That's how we got apostolic. That's how we got all these Muslims. That's how we got all these other different things. Our mindset calls us to leave. Now you have to ask yourself this. We talked about staying with y'all last week, right? Isaiah 26:3. Talked about staying with him. They that keep their mind stayed on him, he'll do what? He'll keep them. Okay? He'll keep them in perfect peace. So we realize, everything that's happening to us, we're in control of the causes and effects that are happening to us, right? We're in control of that. So a lot of people think that it's just trials that they're going through, right? No, it's a cause and effect, what the world calls karma, right? Cause and effect. Things you have thought, things you have given, and now the effect of that thought, because thoughts lead to what? Actions, right? The effect of that thought, which led to an action, now you have to reap it, which we know in the kingdom is called the law of what? Sowing and reaping. So Paul, he's trying to do what he had told them in Romans, to not conform to the world, but renew your mind with the what? Word of Yah, right? So that you may be able to prove that good and the what? Acceptable will of Yah. And so when he's telling them to think, you left this. So you don't even know the will of Yah. You don't know the acceptable will of Yah. Like I say, he said the good and acceptable. So you could be doing something, but is it that good? Is it that righteous will of Yah? Is that accepted by Yah? You see, there's all kind of things you can do. But he said there's a right, good, mean, right. There's a righteous will of Yah, and there is an acceptable will of Yah. You could be doing all kind of stuff. The Most High said, I don't approve that. I didn't even set that up. I didn't tell you to do that. I did not tell you to do that. And a lot of people watch us say they do it in the name of good works and try to attach the Most High to it. The Most High said, no, you don't have to attach me to, you don't attach me to nothing that you created. I attach you to the assignment. He attached Joseph to Egypt, right? He attached Elijah to go to Zarephath, right? Yeah. And the brook of Cherith, you see? So when you're doing something, that's what the Most High told you to do? Or is you just doing that because, and you put scripture to it and you put things around it and it looks good? The Most High don't care about nothing that looks good, right? What did he say? And so that's what he's trying to get his people back to. What did the Most High say? Young people, that's the key to life. You have to get to the place, what did he say? Because if you don't get to what he says, this is what you're going to do. And it's a lot of grown-ups before you. They live just like this. They don't live by what he said. They don't know what he said. They live by what they feel, what they want to do. You should never see a grown-up like this. And they're supposed to be in Yah. Because if they're in our Yah, the Elohim of this scripture, his emotions are not like this. Right? Am I right about it? You just read how his nature is. This is how his nature is. And this is how this is how you check yourself. Because if these thoughts are going on in my mind and I'm disciplining myself to be like this, I'm not going to be like this. And one Saturday, like, dang, he was just cool. Last Saturday, he was, dang. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things...
Let's kind of break them down. When we think about true, what comes to you when you think about true? B? Truth.
Not a lie.
Truth, not a lie. Okay. What's the next one? Whatsoever things are honest?
Honest.
Mike, what you think when it's honest? It's kind of easy.
It's not a lie.
It's not a lie. It's pure. When you think about honest, you think about pure. Honest means what? The reason why he says honest, you know why? Because there are people that do things, watch, and it seems like it's good, but there's alternative motives. Something, you dress it up with good, but there's if you have discernment, you can see them that what they call it, the fish screen. You know how the magician be talking about, oop, it's gone, but if you put, I see that fish line that you pulled that with, But honest, there's no loops. Like if I do something for him, I ain't doing it because I want him to do something back for me and, later on. No, I did it because it comes from the honesty of my heart. I love him, these things of that nature are honest. See, our people do this all the time. Honest, the opposite of honest is being a manipulator. You do things out of manipulation. And a lot of people are guilty of that. Honest. See, sometimes we read this stuff, we don't slow down and really just think about what is he saying. Let's break it down, because what's another word that's opposite of honest? I know we said not tell a lie, but manipulation. Like if you manipulative, that's not honest. What's another word we can use that's opposite of being honest? Yeah, deceitful. So when you think about it, he said, watch. Now when you realize all these things, he said, this is how you need to be thinking. So he's telling them this because, remember, the only reason he's telling them this because what? They ain't doing it, right? So if he said, think on those things that are what he said first? True. So the reason he had to say think on those things and truth because your mindset been running and meditating on lies. He say think on those things that are honest. You've been in deceit, manipulation, and not, lying. What's the next one?
Whatsoever things are just.
Uh-oh. Just. You see, it's almost like the same thing, right? It's basically like he's saying, come clean. Come clean. It's like he's begging, like, no, not all of it. I want all the lies, all the manipulation. Don't hold none of it. Get it all out. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna reveal that. Nuh-uh. Cause you see, like, those three characteristics, they almost the same, right? Just different words. Okay, what's the next one?
Whatsoever things are pure.
Pure. Pure. When we think about pure, what we think about? Huh? Holy. What does holy mean? We know holy means to be set apart. What is pure? Not sinful, right? Pure. Pure intent. Like I just said, like if I have a pure intent, I give him something, like he don't have to feel, I don't know if I should take that, because in times past, I know when you give me something, I already know it's it's something attached to it, you see? Or if I, pure. Because when you hear this, it make you think that our people were really walking in some deceitful type of ways, manipulation. And watch, in this New Testament, so guess what? This happens in our day too. He's having to tell them that they read it, they know it, but watch, do they practice it? Being pure, are they pure with their brothers and sisters? Honest, no strings attached, no, just walking in truth. See, he gives us this. He said, this is what your mind, this is where your mind should be. Your thoughts in your mind. Because, watch, go ahead. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Go ahead, Frida.
Whatsoever things are lovely.
Lovely. Lovely. When we think about lovely, what we think about? David?
Not having any, ill will.
There you go. Not having any ill will. Ill will. If he having to tell people think on things that are lovely, the reason he's saying that they were acting opposite of this type of way. And if you just, like I said, I'm trying to remove all that church mindset and just let us really dive into, let your mind go there. You think about it today, just look around. It's going on today. People in and out of church services, in and out of conferences, in and out, and doing the very thing. And they read this, but never take time. And see, when you're studying the scripture, this is how I study. I'm thinking about it, man. Because I can't help nobody until I work on myself. Your whole work, you are a major project, Your whole work is on you. Because the only person you can change is who? You. You can't change nobody else but you. Okay, what's the next one?
Whatsoever things are of good report.
Whatsoever things of a good report. So he's talking about how they're reporting things, right? How would you break that one down, Elder? A good report.
A good report would be something that's honest, is genuine, it's the way it is real.
Right. Right. A good report, righteous report, right? Good report. Good report. So if I'm reporting something, I'm not going to be reporting to tear you down, right? Say if he failed. Say if he failed in an area of his life. I'm not fit to be over there on the north side talking, let me tell you about Dr. Williams. He an elder. Guess what happened? That ain't what the Most High say do, right? He say what? What you supposed to do? If one of your brothers fall, go and do what? Restore. Because if I was on the north side, if my brother fell, would that be a good report? No, that ain't how the Most High would do it. Because when I fail, like when you say you take it, when you fail, is that what he did to you? No. If a brother or sister is off, do you go somewhere and try to tear people down? You don't do that. You don't do that. If you have the Ruach in you, watch, if you have discernment something is off with them, your righteousness is supposed to go watch, build, you know what I'm saying? Come on. A good report. A good report. What's the last one?
If there be any virtue.
Think on what?
And if there be any praise, think on these things.
He said if there be any virtue. Like virtue is what? Life, right? Resurrecting things to life. So what is, because this, watch. The whole purpose of Paul right here, going to his brothers, guess what? He's offering them what? Virtue. In other words, spiritual virtue. They're dead. Their spirit is dead because, watch, they turn and start serving other gods. So what he's doing is, watch, giving them virtue. What is virtue? He's giving them the word that will bring them spiritually back to life. Spiritually, where they can hear the Most High again. Where they're not, watch, bound by people, rules and regulations and laws. He's giving them virtue. He say, if you do this, think on these things. These things are what's going to free you. These things are what's going to deliver you. Because, watch this, the very things that we think on, they either what? Make us free or have us in a bondage. And you're choosing to do what? Either or, right? We're choosing it. Because we know that from the Old Testament when he told us what? Choose this what? Day. Life or what? Blessing or what? So I'm choosing it. What are you choosing? What are you choosing? Like there's no one even here and no one by my knowledge of that's connected to us by the way of technology that's illiterate. In other words, incapable of understanding what I'm saying. So we're choosing. So no longer can we do what? Place the blame on what? Things. If I'm going to blame somebody, who I got to blame? Myself. Myself. And the whole time you didn't know Michael Jackson was singing about that when he was talking about the man in the mirror, right? What did he say? I'm going to look at the man. He said, I'm going to ask the man in the mirror to change his ways. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move along now. Okay, we're in a good place. All right. All right, I want to talk about the 5 senses. The 5 senses. Let me see here. The 5 senses. Okay, the 5 senses are these. Or you call them faculties or whatever. They are sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. 5 senses or faculties are these: sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. Okay. Remember that. Let me do this. Elder, go. Let's go back to John 5. John 5. And let's go back to verse 8. John 5. John chapter 5, verse 8. So I want you to remember those 5 faculties, senses. We all have them, right? Sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. Okay, go ahead and read that from John 5, verse, what did I say, verse 8 through what? Okay, let me see. Verse, let's see it. Let's go verse 8 to 16.
YAHUSHUA said unto him,
Uh-huh.
Rise,
Uh-huh. He said what?
rise.
So he tell him to rise, right? Okay. Go up where it talks about how long the man had, go up where he asked him what was, I don't know how many verses you got to go up.
Verse 5, a certain man.
Yeah. Okay, John 5, and we're going to go up to verse 5, all right?
And a certain man was there,
Uh-huh.
which had an infirmity 38 years.
He had an infirmity for 38 years, right? Okay.
When YAHUSHUA saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he said unto him, Wilt thou be made whole?
Will you be made whole? He's asking him a question, right? He's asking him basically, what do you want, right? He's asking him. If a man, when I say man, I'm saying mind too. If a man or mind has an ear to hear the Most High, whatever you face, the Most High, He will come to you. Just like He's coming to this man and asks, what do you want? Many times, a man or mind cannot recognize when the Most High is coming to them. And if you cannot recognize when the Most High comes to you, you will live a life where you face cycles. And the cycles will be like a merry-go-round. In other words, you'll be finding yourself going through the same old things all the time. Year after year. Place after place. It's going to be the same old thing. But when a man or mind give himself to hear from the Most High, he or she can watch, be free. But they got to be looking for him. They got to know and recognize him. Right? Go ahead.
The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me in the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Okay,
so we just talked about the 5 senses or faculties, all right? What faculties was he's basically blaming his situation on? What faculties are he blaming? What he's using that we can say that he's using to say the reason why he can't get healed. So remember, the 5 faculties are sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. Which one of those senses that he's using as an excuse that he can't be healed? Huh? Sight. She says sight and hearing. We can go with sight, right? Because he's looking, right? He's looking, well, if they get in first, because he have to see them, that means I can't get healed. Then she said hearing. What could he hear? Why would it be hearing, y'all think? So watch them. So she says, listen to the voices in his head. So watch this. You remember when I tell you, when you see hear in the Bible, that means obey? So See, watch these words. I'm finished. These words are connected. So if you obey, what obey also is connected to. So hearing means obey. Obey, what's another word that can be connected to obey? The Most High has given us power. What is that power called? Our belief. Yep, faith, right? So watch. Our hearing is connected to our what? What I choose to hear is connected to my what? Belief, right? And so watch. That's going on in here. Just because a man has these right here, these two things on the side of your head don't mean nothing. A man's true hearing is his what? His thoughts. You see how he's thinking about the situation? If he gets in first, then ain't no way I'm finna be healed. You see? A man's hearing is his what? His thoughts. Not these fleshly formations on the side of our head. Your true hearing is the thoughts that you're thinking. Does that make sense? Your true hearing is the thoughts that you think.
It's also touch because the word says, blessed are not only those that just hear the word, but also do, because you do based on what you think on.
She said touch.
So what you do, touch, you feel, you do things.
Touch. Okay. We're gonna stay. I want to stay with the sight and the hearing for this one, but I'm gonna show you something else in just a minute. So he uses, see, watch this now. The word is deep. They on a porch called Solomon's porch, right? And remember, he's not the only sick person, right? There are many there, right? And it's what it said earlier. There are many sick people there, right? Where the sick. There's how many porches there?
5 porches.
So in those 5 porches, guess what? Many of those 5 porches, guess what? Many of those, watch, the reason why they're bound is because they're bound to the belief of, watch, giving precedence or making Lord to one of those 5 senses. The reason why they can't be healed. It might be, watch, sight. It might be hearing. It might be touch. You see? Mm-hmm. But one of those is, and I'm going to show you later on, like, this stuff is so deep, man. But we're going to stay right here. We're going to stay right here. I'm just going to try to keep it close and tight. So he's telling you, he's using the 5 senses. He's using, I'm going to say sight and hearing. And we can't say touch because we'll say touch because he says he has no one to what? Pick him. That you got to touch him, right? To pick him up. You got to touch. So yeah, we'll go with touch. He got to be carried. So basically, he's told Yahushua, this is the reason why, right? Remember this. Let me get back. Remember this. The devil is a belief, okay? That something else has the power. The devil is a belief that something else has the power other than the Most High. Let's get it in plain terms. Some situation. I know a lot of times people talk about things they face on work, in work. If they focus on that so much, they won't even be able to hear what we're talking about here. They've given themselves through sight, right? Maybe it's a meeting they come out of. And they're using the faculty of hearing, right? And they just keep talking about it over and over and over. So guess what? The devil has come as a belief that, watch, whatever was said in that meeting has more power than the Yah that you serve. You see? It is a belief. The devil is a belief that something else has the power over your life other than Yah. Does that make sense? Think about it. And many times we've been bound ourselves by the very same thing. Things you heard, things you see. And then watch. You continue to be repetitious with thinking on what was said in the meeting, what was said at the family reunion, what was said at the game, what was said at work. And you're thinking on it. You're going to bed with it. You're waking up with it. So that's the devil is what? A belief that something else has what? The power. How do you know when someone they begin to take on another idol? Because watch, they continue to talk about that particular thing over and over and over again. And whether you know it or not, now you know it. Because he said, my people perish for a lack of what? You didn't know you can create an idol like that, right? You giving your mind to it. Watch. You're thinking on this thing. Watch. Day and night. And you're confessing it with your mouth. And it's not departing out of your mouth. You're doing the very thing with that belief or communication that you heard that you're supposed to do with the word of Yah, what he told you to do in Joshua 1:8. Do not let this book of the law, right? Do not let this depart out of your mouth. Meditate on this. Think on this what? Both day and night. And we can also align Philippians 4:8 up with that, right? Think on what? These things. So we got to see, mental idols. No one, the Ruach have to give you this to show you, you have mental idols. You can be an idol worshiper and don't even know it's in your mentality, your thinking. Your thinking leads to your actions. Your thinking leads to how you communicate, how you interact. Your thinking leads to how you see yourself. We can say all day long that you're a royal priesthood. You're the apple of the Most High's eye. But don't mean that they go think on that, right? Watch this. Watch. You could be an idol worshiper and read the Bible. How do you know you're idol? You read the scriptures, but it don't work in your mindset, though. When a situation comes up, you don't do nothing that the book says. You won't confess. You won't cast down stuff. You won't speak. Somebody come to you with an issue. You just fully believe. You don't use those discernment. You just go with what they say because watch, you may have been around and you may have known them a long time. You see, you're biased. Come on. What did he say in Exodus 20 verse 3? Have no what? Other gods what? Before me. Before me. Before me. Does this make sense? Okay, let's go on back to John.
Verse 8. Yahushua said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk.
Okay, now watch. Yahushua, the Most High, Yahushua's come to him. He heard the man's belief. But he's trying to get him, watch, to change his belief, right? That belief set you have has you crippled, has you maimed, has you impotent. You're like you're paralyzed. You can't do nothing. You feel like you can't do nothing. You're no good. You compare yourself. He or she is better than me. But then Yahushua comes and says, he said, to get you to change, to watch. Notice he didn't pray with him, right? To get you to change your mind, I have to give you information. And this is the information I'm telling you. Rise, because when he comes to you, watch. When Yahushua and the Most High comes to you, he reigns over any type of law outside of you that man has come up with. He conquers that. And so he's always in the business of trying to get us to watch, discipline our mind, to watch, meditate on this every day, to start our day in the middle of the day. think on this, because what? You're going to find situations that come up. And if you're not disciplining yourself to think on these things, you're going to make the communication of that situation using the 5 faculties of your senses. You're going to begin to make that stuff a Lord and feel like, watch, I don't know how I can do it. I just don't want to. Oh, God, I'm so sick of this. Then you start feeling sick. You start using words and not realizing, you shouldn't talk like that because life and death is in the power of the tongue. Then you start saying this, and I bet they finna come at me too. So you watch. You using faith, right? You expecting it. And even if they do come, guess what? If my mind is locked with YAHUSHUA and with the Most High, I know this, that watch. No matter what happens, as I stay with my mind with Him, all things are going to do what? They're going to work together. It's going to work together. And if you don't realize, like I said last week, if you don't realize the Most High is trying to transform our mindset to watch, where people, how are you able to just keep a calm demeanor? Because this is beyond a church service. You see, church services is what killed the power of Yah's word. To be watched, to be foundationally solid in your mind with the word. Well, watch, things come up. Say you're in college, things come up. There's no course that you'll take that can sack you. It'll be challenging, but what? I'm gonna show you in just a minute. It'll be challenging, but all I gotta do is ask for the Most High for the wisdom and don't get in my emotions about it. And just calm down. And it may take me a little longer than it did things in high school, but I'll get it. I'm built for it. Matter of fact, the Most High marked me, watch. The Most High marked me with the name that the Most High gave to my parents to give me. How in the world I'm going to be called Dominion and lose? See, you start thinking, that's how the Ruach start talking to you. You see? How I'm going to be called Dominion and lose? I'm built. I don't lose, baby. I don't lose. See, that's when the Ruach start talking to you, you see? Let me sit down. Let me cast down this fear. I don't care what Angelique got on her test, so what? I got to see. She got to be. I'll be there. You see? I ain't comparing. I'm in my own lane. I still pass, though. You see? I still pass. I ain't looking at nobody else's lane. I'm creating my own lane. You see? I'm creating my own lane. I ain't worried about nobody else. Okay? All right, go ahead on.
Verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately the man was made whole.
And a what?
Immediately.
Now, we've been talking about, watch this. I send out a prophetic word to y'all about just sudden, in a blink of the eye, things will change. Watch. And this is where it's going to change. When you allow the word of Yah to rise in your mind, that's when things start changing. I'm talking about just like it could be one way. You see how it was just pouring down? And you see how quick the sun just, like it never rained, right? I'm talking about like that. And many times the Most High will send signs right before your eyes. He said, now what? I need you to allow my word to rise in your consciousness and your thought like that. And I don't care what situation, circumstance you face. Guess what? I can change it where it works together for your good. One minute we were reading about Joseph just going through. And then another minute we see the man ruling. He's second in charge in a nation he wasn't even born in. Because he continued to allow the word of Yah to what? Rise. In other words, stay at the forefront of his mindset. Not what the situation, not what his family had did, not what Potiphar's lying wife had said. He never allowed that to rule his mind. Whatever you allow to rule your mind through your beliefs and your thoughts, that is your Lord. Do you understand? That is your Lord. I don't care how much you open the Bible, how many church service, how many conference you go through. Whatever you allow to rule your mind, you think on over and over again, that is your Lord. And we know if the Most High is your Lord, then you should be in a place called perfect peace, right? I live in a mindset of perfect peace. I don't live in a perfect world, but I do live in a mindset of what? Perfect peace. Come on, man. We ain't in a perfect world, but you can be in what? Perfect peace, though. It's a choice. It's a choice. All right, go ahead on.
And immediately.
And what?
Immediately.
Sudden change, suddenly. We're talking about that right now, suddenly. That's why I watch. When you allow the word to rise in your mind, you're not looking at someone else's promotion. Watch, because watch, I realize that watch, things are changing on my behalf for my good right now. They're changing right now. Say that with me. They're changing for my good right now. No matter how they look. They're changing for my good right now. I believe that. I'm talking about right now, y'all. Brothers and sisters in the electronic world, I'm talking about right now. Rise. The very thing that you want to make an excuse and blame, don't blame nothing. Blame yourself. Bind yourself from thinking like that. And watch, only say what the Most High said. Only think what he's thinking. We don't have time to get somewhere and be cornering, gossiping, and communicating with low vibration people that just want to talk about. No, I'm talking about elevating. I'm talking about watch walking in a realm where watch. Yeah, everything really do work together for you good. That don't mean everything is perfect around you, but watch, he'll take the thing that imperfect and seem like trial and tribulation and do what? Make it work for your what? Good. But only a mind that can watch, believe that, and receive that, only would that manifest in his or her life. Some people stuck where they can't believe nothing but just the wrong thing. They just stuck. And they go live a life of bondage, and many times they exit the earth quick. Or they'll begin to have forms of dementia. Their minds and things they'll start losing their mind. Be careful. I'm trying to help you even out with the health of your mind. Thinking on dead things. Traumatic things. Or, let me say this. This going to help somebody out for real. Holding things that you need to confess and get out. That'll kill your mind and your brain cells too. That's a spiritual thing that the doctors won't tell you, but watch, a prophet will tell you. Get your mind right. You cannot hide things and watch. Your mind is a soil. And so watch, whatever's in your soil, it bears fruit through your actions. And so a lot of times you be wondering why a person they got some hidden secret stuff that they bear, and it comes out. It comes out, but you don't know. They ain't never told nobody. Why is that? That's that hidden secret stuff. But if you want your mind to be made whole, I'm talking to you now. If you want your mind to be made whole, uproot those things, those thoughts that are not like him, and watch how the Most High what? Liberate you mentally, which is spiritual. But if you just want to be religious or Christian or whatever you want to call it, stay right there. And you will have the good effects of being in a service and watch, have that, all that emotional stuff. Then guess what? You will always continue to go to the status quo when a situation or circumstance arises. Because the situation and circumstance arises just to show you who your God is. Right, Hebrew boys? Right, Daniel? Right? You didn't realize that, watch, when he assigned you to stuff, that what? He assigned you to places where trouble go be. Because watch, if he called you to do something, he'll allow you to get in trouble, right? So now that people can see the Yah inside of you, it's not me, but it's Yah in me. He lives in me. He speaks through me. He problem solves through me. He knowledges through me. He wisdoms through me. See, people been waiting to see you on display. Yeah, the Most High called me to a place where problems at, right? And that's where he put Joseph at, a place where a problem had happened. Just to show him, watch, I am the Elohim of this man. And watch, if you want things to go well, you better listen to him. That's when you know what. No, I'm good. I've been called for this. Well, I'm good. I'm better than good. But if you ain't been called to it, you've been faking, you go drown. You better make sure you called to it, right? Assigned to it. If you ain't called to it, you ain't assigned to it, you just trying to put on to get on, you're going to drown. Okay. See, that's when you just let the Ruach speak, man. I ain't got none of this. Well, go ahead, man. I'm trying to stick to John.
And immediately.
And what?
Immediately.
That's where we stuck at. That's where all this commentary is coming from. Right here. Immediately. Change is in the air. I'm going to say it again. Change is in there. Yeah, you've been set aside. You are a remnant. You've been set aside for a reason. You know you've been set aside from the time of your birth. You've been set aside for a reason. And the time of the Most High remnant, he will be glorified through them. You won't have to try to do nothing. For watch, he will show himself through you mighty and show. Matter of fact, he already do it. Rise. 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 I want that to hit your spirit. Rise. Think about where you at in this season. Rise. No, he was telling the rise of a bond. Rise past those faculty of senses, sight, hearing, and touch, that you have basically made your Lord the reason why. Rise above that limitation. Did I say that? He said, I'm finna tell you who the Lord of this world, the Lord who rules everything. What I'm called, rise above that. I didn't call you to that. So you never take on a thought process that the Most High didn't give you. When you in school, I'm going to help you, athletes in school, on the job, there's going to always be something trying, right? There's going to be something trying that it seemed like, no. You never take on, I can't. You don't take on that. And matter of fact, you make sure you get connected. If you can't get connected, you know my number. Let me get, because I need some of that juice. We operate on a different consciousness. What is that different consciousness? The consciousness of Yah. He does not fail, right? He does not fail, so neither can I. The only way I can fail is if I take my mind and put it somewhere else. And if I put my mind on somewhere else, guess what? I won't be in complete peace. I will be in complete drama. Complete, because you can see when a person is in complete peace, right? Perfect peace. That is where you're supposed to be at this current time in your mind. Not at this time, but what? At all times. Every day you wake up, there's going to be something that you face. But no, I'm not finna leave this place. I don't care if you chose to leave it. I ain't leaving it. I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to stay right here. That's right here, not here, him. Go ahead, Elder.
And immediately, the man was made whole.
See, I'm going to say this again because some of y'all still stuck because you're too religious. He said what?
Immediately.
Say it again, El. He said what?
Immediately.
He said what?
Immediately.
I'm trying to help you get unstuck. Still want to watch. You better get that junk up out of you. Because he's trying to do things in what kind of time period, Elder?
Immediately.
You better hear the Most High. This is the time period he's on. We're late in the day. When I say late in the day, I'm talking about a prophetic time clock. He's putting you in place for assignment for his will to be a light, a witness wherever you go. School, wherever you go. Job, wherever you go. Entrepreneurship, wherever you go. You're there to be a light. But you get so loose Now you just watch. Flowing, this world will beat you up. It only can beat you up because you chose what? If you get beat up, you chose it. You chose to get yourself beat. Nothing just come takes you, you know, nothing just come takes you by chance. A man is drawn away when he's drawn away by his what? Own lustful desires, which when you're drawn away by your own lustful desire, what you want to do, how you want to do it, that's a choice, right? Okay, go ahead on.
And took up his bed and walked.
Took up his bed and what?
And walked.
Remember, the devil is a belief that something else has the power. How I know when I'm walking with the devil? The devil is in my what? Mindset, right? And the devil is the belief that, watch, this situation has more power than y'all. You like, well, I ain't never said that. Well, what are you talking about the most? Are you talking about the most high way? Or are you talking about that negative way that just so negative? You ain't choosing to put your mind on what y'all are saying about it. You just staying stuck right there. So guess what? Guess who you walking with? You sad, crying, going in bouts of depression. That's why now you hear, watch, a great many people talking about mental sickness now, because the church world has played around so much with entertainment, they done took the spiritual healing part of the scriptures away from them just for entertainment. Just because a person can sing, watch, don't mean that they're delivered. That's just a talent, right? Just because I can lift weight don't mean that I'm free, you know? All right. I'm going just a little bit more. All right. And that's how the Ruach work. You know, you have a pinpoint, and then he just, you know, he do what he do. Give me 1 John 4:4. See, that was my pinpoint in my notes where them dots at, but we ain't started nowhere near that yet. But that's the stuff, like I said, when you following y'all, you listen to him and you flow with him. You see, you flow with him. Go ahead, 1 John chapter 4 verse 4.
Ye are Yah, little children.
Watch this.
And have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you.
Say that again.
Because greater is he that is in you.
Sound like music to my ears. Say it one more time.
Because greater
yeah.
is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
When a man is able, in other words, has the consciousness to locate where the Most High really is, that's when he starts winning and it's game over for the things where he used to lose at. He's telling you where he's at, right? He's telling you where he's at, right? Where is he at? You see? Now he says, watch. He's greater than anything that's what? In the world. Outside any type of law that man has made up, government, he said, I'm greater than that. Greater is he that is what? In you than he that is in the what? World. And he's telling them to watch. Look what he told them, because he's in them. When this is how he talks to you when he's in you. How he talked the beginning of that. This is how he talked to you. Because if he's not talking to you in these thought processes, you're serving the devil. You've made another god. Watch. This is how he talks to you. Watch this.
Ye are of Yahuwah, little children, and have overcome them.
Watch. Not that you will. You've already overcome them. And he finna tell you why you overcome. Right, watch this.
Because greater is he that is in you.
Where is he at?
In you.
He's in me. Right now, he's in me. Say that with me. Close your eyes and just say it. Right now.
Right now.
He's in me.
He is in me.
You're going to make that personal. Right now.
Right now.
Yahuwah
Who
is in me.
is in me.
It's deep. He's in me. So basically what he's telling you, why are you worried about things that are outside of you? Do you know where I'm at? I'm inside of you. And so when you go to look for me, you don't pray like I'm outside of you. Just get quiet and hear what I'm saying on the inside of you, right? And that's why you have to guard your mind, right? Because watch, all this stuff on the outside knows the place where Yahuwah is at. But what it's trying to do is being advertised to you like it was Adam and Eve, right? It's been advertised to you for you to do what? To put your belief on it. Because when you put your belief on anything that's outside of Yah, then guess what? Whatever you put your belief on, that becomes your what? Your God. And so if you put your belief on anything in this world that's outside of the Most High, then it becomes your God. Okay? It becomes your God. Does that make sense? Think about it. And then watch. It begins to run its life system through how you see, through how you think, through how you feel, through how you discern. Watch. Through how you deal with the place where he assigned your feet at. Because even the place where he assigned the assignment that he give you, he tell you to be a what? He said you've already what? Overcame. Y'all hear that, kids? You've already what? Overcame. So guess what? When you're in school or work on a job, guess what? Something go come up. A situation, a trial, or a problem go come up. But guess what? I already have the answer. What's the answer? I've already what? Does that mean failing David? No, I got the victory. And all I got to do is keep my mind stayed on what he is saying in this situation. Because watch, it could be 100 people, and you the only one that watch. Don't break, don't give in. Why aren't you mad? Don't you see what's going on? See what? Misery loves company. Don't you see what they're saying? Did you hear what they said when you're in corporate work? Did you hear what they say? Yeah, I was listening, but I'm good. It's okay. See, people, they love for you to get, misery. It's like a bunch of people in misery. When a person is off with y'all, they always rallying people to get there. But the people that walks with y'all, they are few. For many are called, but what? Few are chosen to keep their mindset with y'all. It's a discipline. It's a way you discipline yourself day in and day out. Every hour you have to discipline your mind because something coming up, you see? Something's coming up for you to walk out of that place, that mindset of perfect peace. Something is coming to try to lure you. You remember the story of Adam and Eve, right? I'm going to come to the weaker one to try to get the stronger one. You see? And you realize, watch, the Most High, he doesn't put you on game. He's showing you all the tactics. But Paul told us in Philippians 4:8, think on those things that are honest and a good report. In other words, what? Don't you be a manipulator. He said, you already overcame. I got to walk in it. So watch, when situations come up, he already told me what. Whatever comes up, I've already overcame. Do you think Joseph knew this? You already overcame. You know how you know you already overcame? Because before you ever, if you're on an assignment from y'all, before you ever started, the Most High already tell you the ending and your success in it. He'll never tell you the little bumps in the road, but he's already telling your success because he's believing what? You're going to keep your mind on what I said, not these little bumps and stuff that I'm going to use to watch, to even elevate your name higher. I know why the bumps come up. Oh, the bumps come up, watch, for it to work for my good, to bring to another level. Not to take, oh, this going to take, well, as soon as you said it's going to take you out, guess what? You going to get took out. And it didn't take you out. Guess who took you out? You did. You took yourself out. Well, they took me out. No, you took yourself out. By the way you think, you believe. They did it to me, just like they did to Sarah Joe. No, you did the same thing Sarah Joe did. The way you thought. David, man, we ain't have nobody teaching us this type of mind stuff y'all getting. Well, y'all should be just warriors, Caleb. Y'all, man, I'm like, y'all listen, man, good night. We ain't have none of this, did we, be? Y'all out there just trying to figure it out, man. We did the best we could with what we knew. But we done grew, though. You see, it grows. The most I see, he causes it to grow. All right, a little bit more. Give me Daniel 11:32. We're going to end there. Daniel chapter 11, verse 32. It's a portion of this I want you to see. Okay.
And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flattery.
So Daniel is prophesying to Israel about, how they, would be overtaken by the enemy. And he said those that do wickedly, basically to do wickedly about the covenant, I mean they disobey it. They take on another type of teaching, another type of doctrine. I don't want to hear that. I'd rather hear what he got to say. I don't want to hear that about no Israelite. I don't want to hear all that stuff. He said those that do wickedly, he says what? She's go what? Corrupt with what?
By flattery.
So what do you see these preachers doing today? They're flattering people, right? Not telling them who they are. They're flattering. And guess what? The Bible said in the last days, many will have itching ears and will seek out teachers for themselves. And that's exactly what they're doing, right? But watch what he says. Now watch. Go ahead.
But the people that do know their Elohim.
Come on now.
Shall be strong.
They gonna be what?
Be strong.
Come on.
And do exploits.
Do what?
Exploits.
So he's telling you, you gonna know who's from Yah and who ain't from Yah. Notice he ain't said they're gonna be doing a bunch of talking and gossiping and all that. He said, no, they're gonna do what? Exploits. Right? Yeah. Great things, right? Have success. Be able to watch. They're going to be able to stand against all these flatteries and not be hoodwinked and bamboozled and caught up. You see? He said the people of Yah, they do what? Exploits, right? Exploits. So he's telling you, he's marking you, the people of Yah. And how do they do that? Because their mind, they've chosen, you see? It's a choice. It's a choice. They could, they chose, and these people, the people of Yah that's doing exploits, they chose to do right by the covenant. But he says the ones that chose to do wicked, they go basically be deceived, right? Everything's a choice. And basically, if they move by flatteries, they deceive too, right? They've been manipulated. And they fall for the deceptions. But the people of Yah, we do what? Exploits. Every place where he ordered our steps, he will leave a sign, knowing that that's just not any type of woman right there. That's just not any type of man. It's something different about him. It's something different about her. Not the way they dress, not the how they, no, it's just like how they do things, that their aura. You know, their presence is something, you know. They do exploits. And the reason they do exploits is because he already told us, guess what? You you've already overcame, right? Because great is me, Yah, that is in you. And who's doing the work? Yah in you. Yah's consciousness is flowing and giving you how to think, how to solve things, how to counsel things, how to handle things, when to speak, how to speak, who to connect with, who not to connect with, you see? Okay, we're going to shut it down right there for the day. Father, Yah, we just thank you for your word. We give you honor and praise for what you have said to us. I pray that we would lock it in. And Father, that we would take it and begin to look at the 5 faculty senses that we're using, oh Father, that we're not putting any excuses on any of those things, but Father, we take on your consciousness, your mindset, and hearing, Father, you in every area, oh Father, your word that causes us to rise above any situation, circumstance. To my brothers and my sisters that said, brother, how do I get to know the Most High? I'm going to give you an example prayer on how you get to know him. One thing you do is you turn from living life according to your will and your way, doing whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want. You start living for the Most High, doing what he's telling you to do in every aspect of your life. So this is the example prayer. And it goes like this. Father, Yah, I come to you today, and I ask you to forgive me of my transgressions and my sins. My brother, for the last 2 years, I haven't had a car. He's been using his car to take me on errands. We run errands together. When he goes in to run his errands, I've been stealing money out of his glove compartment. And I'm just tired, Most High, of living an empty life, a life that I just feel dry, I feel empty, I feel like I have no purpose. I put on a good front, a good show before people, but I'm empty. I've tried drinking, I tried to have sex, I tried to smoke, I've tried to be that crowd, you know, the one to heighten the crowd up, but at the end, I'm empty, Most High. So I'm coming to you and asking you to forgive me of my transgressions. I went to my brother Most High and I confessed to him about the money that I had been stealing. And I returned that money back to him. And I'm asking you to forgive me for stealing my brother's money. And if there's any other sin that I've done, may by your spirit you reveal it to me so I can come boldly before you and confess it. Father, I thank you for this time, the grace period that you've given me to get my life lined up with you on today. And Father, as I start living for you, living according to your laws, statutes, and commandments for every aspect of life that's in the Bible, if some way I should stray and not do what you're telling me, I pray that you would just bring conviction on me by your spirit, that you would give me the opportunity to get myself up and repent, to get back in line with you. And Father, I know that going forth, if I do what's written in this book and practice it day in and day out, I know that all will be well with me. All right, my brother, my sister. So you heard me just give you an example / demonstration of prayer. All prayer is you having a conversation with the Most High, just being real. If you want him to be real with you, you got to be real with him. You can't be holding nothing back. You got to come all the way clean. And if you do that, trust me, you gonna know. You gonna know him. You go hear him. You say, how do I hear him? He comes to you in your thoughts. He speaks to you in your thoughts. They're righteous thoughts, pure thoughts, like we were talking about his nature, his characteristics in Philippians 4:8. He's always gonna guide you in what to do. So when you pray, don't ever rush prayer to say, okay, check this, I'm done with that. Get quiet and listen to him. Take out time. Hear him speak to you. Like I say, where he speaks to you is in your thoughts. They're righteous thoughts, pure thoughts, thoughts of virtue, thoughts that bring good report. Okay? All right. So if you're taking out that, well, let me say this. You say, you heard me use the word sin. What is sin? Sin is just transgression against the Most High's laws, his instructions. For every aspect of life, the Most High has instructions on how he will have us to live. Whenever we have problems on this earth, it's because we have chosen to avoid or not obey an instruction of the Most High. When we are obeying the Most High's instructions in every aspect of our life, all goes well with us. Okay, to my brothers and my sisters that have chosen to take out that time to start your life by living with the Most High, there are two things I ask you to do. First is to get your Bible. Once you get your Bible, I want you to make sure you have a notepad. We're going to start studying in the Old Testament, the first book in the Old Testament, which is Genesis. I want you to say this prayer before you study and read each time you go to study. Most High, grant me with the knowledge and wisdom and knowledge of what you're saying to me through your word. There's any time that you're studying the word and you don't fully understand the passages or whatever it may be, feel free to reach out to us. The second thing I want you to do, especially if you're not local, is to reach out to us so we can help you find a fellowship in your area that can keep you encouraged. If I'm not able to find a fellowship that teaches the word of y'all like it's supposed to, we're going to stay connected by the way of electronics, which I do in other states and other countries week in and week out. The vision of the Salt and Light Church is to see mankind become effective in every area of their life so that we, the body of Christ, may have a positive effect on our society through YAHUSHUA the Christ.